was Emily's 10th birthday, and her parents had planned a small party. Among the pile of brightly wrapped gifts, one stood out, a slightly worn teddy bear wrapped in plain brown paper. It was left anonymously on the doorstep with no card or tag. Despite its shabby appearance, Emily was drawn to it. The bear had large button eyes and a stitched smile that seemed too wide, too knowing. She named it Mr. Snuggles and declared it her favorite gift. That night, as Emily fell asleep with Mr. Snuggles tucked under her arm, her parents noticed something odd. The lights in her room flickered briefly, and the baby monitor crackled with static. They shrugged it off, blaming the old wiring. But at 3 a.m., Emily's mother awoke to faint whispers coming from the baby monitor. She froze as she heard a voice. It wasn't Emily's. Over the next few days, strange things began happening around the house. Emily's toys were often found scattered in odd patterns when no one was in her room. The family dog, Max, refused to go near Mr. Snuggles, growling and barking whenever the bear was near. One morning, Emily's mother found claw marks on the living room wall, as if something had been scratching at it from the inside. When she asked Emily about it, the little girl simply shrugged and said, "Mr. Snuggles doesn't like it here." By the end of the week, Emily started behaving strangely. She spoke to Mr. Snuggles in hushed tones and claimed the bear was teaching her things. Her cheerful demeanor faded, replaced by a distant, almost sinister expression. Ah, Tom. Emily's parents became increasingly concerned when she started waking up screaming in the middle of the night. She described vivid nightmares of being trapped in a dark room where shadows whispered her name. "They want to take me," she said tearfully. One night, her father decided to stay awake to watch over her. As he sat in the corner of her room, he felt an icy chill sweep through the air. He stared at Mr. Snuggles, now perched on the nightstand, its button eyes glinting faintly in the moonlight. Suddenly, the bear's head turned slightly toward him. He blinked, sure he had imagined it. But then, a low, guttural laugh echoed in the room. Emily's father grabbed the bear and threw it into the closet, slamming the door shut. Desperate for answers, Emily's mother began researching haunted objects and eventually found a local historian who specialized in paranormal artifacts. When she described Mr. Snuggles, the man's face went pale. "That bear," he whispered, "was part of a tragedy decades ago. A seamstress named Margaret made it for her son, but the boy drowned under mysterious circumstances. Heartbroken, Margaret tried to summon his spirit, but something else came through. After her death, the bear disappeared. Until now." The historian warned that the bear was a vessel for a malevolent entity, and that keeping it would only invite disaster.
Welcome to 2050.
You can't take him away. When Emily's parents tried to get rid of the bear, Emily threw a violent tantrum. That night, the family was awoken by loud banging. Furniture in the living room had been overturned, and the walls were covered in scratch marks that spelled out, "Mining." The parents decided to burn the bear. As they threw it into the fireplace, a blood-curdling scream erupted from the flames. The fire roared unnaturally high, and Emily fainted. When she awoke, she seemed like herself again, but the family knew they weren't safe. Thinking they were free of the curse, the family tried to move on. But a few weeks later, Emily found another teddy bear on her bed. It was identical to Mr. Snuggles, except this time, its button eyes were red. Emily's parents heard her laughing in her room that night, a deep, chilling laugh that didn't belong to a child. When they burst in, Emily was gone. On the bed, the bear sat alone, its stitched smile wider than ever, holding a small note that read, "She's with us now." Years later, the house stood abandoned, rumored to be cursed. Local children dared each other to sneak inside, and those who did claimed to hear faint whispers and a child's laughter echoing through the halls. On the dusty bedroom floor, a single teddy bear always sat, waiting for its next victim. The story of Mr. Snuggles serves as a warning. Not all gifts are blessings. Some come with a price that no one should ever have to pay.